Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sports Morning Espresso Shot. I'm your host, Will from Game On. He's Cricket from sportspicks.locals.com, and we're here to bring you the latest and greatest going on in the sports world. Here's what we got on the menu today. A lot of NFL talk, a lot of MLB talk, and I mean, obviously, we're going to dive into the Eagles too, because that's the main topic for today. But we got wide receivers getting paid. We've got MLB teams that if you faded, you'd be up a ton of money. And I don't know why we never do this. We got certain players retiring, some Olympics talk. What else? I got Bengals have a new state-of-the-art locker room. We got to talk about men. We're finally going to see a man fight a woman in the Olympics boxing ring, and MLB trade deadline, and so much more. How about that, Cricket? And then, of course, the Eagles are our main topic today. That's what's on the menu. Loki's already here. Good morning.
Good morning,
Morning, you wascally wabbits.
Wascally wabbits, man. Good to see you, Loki. How you doing? All right, man.
Good. How you doing? Power's back on. We're good.
Power's back on, man. I had to. I got knocked out about midway through. Smoked the spread last night. We were rolling along, feeling pretty good. First show back from the trip and everything. And all of a sudden, boom, man! It was down for the count for about a little over 3 hours. I guess we had some pretty bad storms roll through. There's pretty high winds. So yeah, man, I'm back though. It finally came on a little after 9 last night. We rolling back in the saddle. So good to go. How you doing, man?
Well, other than, I mean, you couldn't tell by the way I started this, but I feel pretty good this morning. But couldn't get. It's probably because I got 20 tabs open because I actually prepared and got stuff ready last night.
Mm-hmm.
So, sitting here looking at everything, and I just can't put it all together right now. But you're here. Loki's here says, "Where in the world?" We are in a world where Jordan Love is the highest paid QB in history, not just QB, highest paid NFL player of all time.
For this week.
Yeah, that's for this week. This is how I feel.
Yeah. Who's retarded now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I have something crazy. You know what? One of the things. So I was prepping last night, and I took probably an extra 15 minutes of prepping for this show than I normally would. I normally do about 0. I try to, but I got caught up. You know me, I know the salary cap stuff pretty well. I had to go research some salary cap stuff because you're about to see, you guys in cricket here, you guys are all about to see one of the craziest contracts in the world. Like it has to do with the Eagles. We're gonna get into that here soon, but it's insane. They have to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 or 4 years. Yeah, and I'm not even just saying that and be like, oh, the salary cap goes up and blah blah blah. No, you don't realize. Wait till you see this contract. It is insane. I don't know how they get out of it unless the salary cap doubles in the next 5 years, which I highly doubt. But who knows? Even then, it's still going to be a huge disadvantage for them. It's pretty crazy. I've never seen anything like this. So we're going to get into that and so much more. But cricket, should we just jump right into it? I got a lot of sports news for us to talk about.
With both feet, man. Let's jump on in.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. So we're going to start here in the NFL. Breaking news yesterday. DJ Moore and the Chicago Bears reached an agreement on a 4-year, $110 million extension that includes $82.6 guaranteed. Moore's 4-year, $110 million extension with Chicago is the largest deal in Bears franchise history. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, depending on what Caleb Williams does, they're going to have a lot more of these contracts. They're going to have to renew. So I like this guy. I like DJ Moore. I liked him down his time in Carolina. I liked him last year. I mean, it doesn't feel like he can come out and light it up for you every week. I know he's capable of it, but once again, it's hard to put it together every week like that. But I mean, this guy, I don't really have a problem with this contract, man.
Yeah, it kind of feels like to me, this kind of helps the Brandon Ayuk situation because you had all these other you're going to have CeeDee Lamb that's going to get top dollar and whatnot. And clearly, San Francisco's like, we're not going to pay you $30 million a year. But then you go look at this contract and be like, well, look what DJ Moore got. And San Francisco would be like, yeah, we can do maybe a little bit better than what DJ Moore got. But I mean, it seems comparable, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I would pay Brandon Ayuk before I would pay DJ Moore. I like both of them, but I like Brandon Ayuk more. And so if I'm him and I'm seeing this, as each day goes on and they continue to kind of drag me down the line here and lead me on, I'm getting more and more pissed off if I'm Brandon Ayuk. I do
So
know
if you're
that.
Brandon Ayuk, you're like, okay, well now today that's 111 million. Tomorrow,
Fair enough. Hey, fair
112
enough.
million.
I guess there's two ways to look at it.
113
That's fair.
million. The number goes up $1 million a day, San Francisco. So it's your call.
That's fair. You better hustle up, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to pay someone, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they have. I think they had some. I don't know. I don't think it's crazy because in a world where you got several of the top wide receivers being paid $30 million, you got to look at it like it's not. Is he one of the best wide receivers in the league? Is he the best wide receiver on your team? And also has to be due for a contract.
Right.
And they did trade away assets for him, right? So you did trade away quite a bit to get him in here. So it's kind of one of those things like, are you just going to throw that investment away, or is it worth it to you? And you're not paying him, a full $30 million a year. You're still in that 20. What is this? 25, 26, 7, 20, 27 range. I guess if we look at the guaranteed, it's 20 and a half. So yeah, it seems all right. I mean, it seems ridiculous because it's like, wow, wide receivers are making that kind of money, but we got to remember that's just the market now. That's where it's at. Where the salary cap's gone up to. It's the same thing with NBA players making their 5-year, $300 million contract extensions, max extensions. It's like, what in the world? But that's just how it is.
It's the world we live. Joe Biden's America, man.
It's Joe Biden's America, baby. Cricket. I feel like we're always like right around one of these, but we never, and this is before they lost last night. We never seem to jump on one of these, and I want to start doing it. So the White Sox have lost this was 15 in a row. They lost last night, so it's 16 in a row. It says, how much would you be up rolling over a $100 bet, fading the White Sox during their 15-game lose streak? $107,473. Why aren't we ever on top of one of these?
It's just, to me, that money piles up so exponentially so fast. I'm like, for one, I'm never
15 games is a lot, though.
Yeah, but I'm never gonna have the stones to lay $50,000 on fading the White Sox.
Yeah, but think about it. We just got to get to like 8 games and we're at like $10,000 and we feel okay. You know what I mean? And then we're like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm done.
I'll start back over at 100.
That's a little Chris producer sizzler right there, man. We got to start looking at that stuff, man.
I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to start doing it, but maybe not with the same team. But I'm just going to like play a little merry-go-round depending on who I like the most with the terrible teams in the league. I'm going to start with with the Marlins. They just traded away everyone and their mother yesterday on their team. So you got to think I don't even know what their win streak or losing streak is at right now, but I know they're about to go on some sort of run of a losing streak. The A's we got to look at too. And then obviously we got to keep an eye on the White Sox. But
obviously got to keep an eye on the White Sox, maybe even the Rockies.
Yeah.
Like but yeah, I mean, it's going to happen again before the baseball season's over. They're going to have one of these teams. It's probably not going to be the White Sox. We might be too late to this party, but it definitely seems to happen more often. I feel like we talk about one of these crazy things like this about every month and a half. So they're out there.
Yeah, it's just we gotta find out when this is gonna happen. You know what I mean? We gotta figure it out. So we gotta let us know.
Future almanac one time, man.
Just one time. What else I got for you? Ooh, look at this. We Rashad Penny. I forgot he was even on the. Speaking of the Eagles, we're talking about the Eagles today. Rashad Penny was supposed to play for the Eagles this year and just said, nah, I'm good. Which is crazy though, because last week, just 4 days ago, Cricket. Well, I guess 5 days ago now, he says, everybody knows when I'm healthy, I'm probably a top running back in the league. Now, he said that last week. You weren't here. You were on vacation. He said that last week. I was looking at it. I'm like, what? Really? I mean, okay. I like the attitude. That's what I thought. I like the attitude. Might look at him for fantasy football, late rounds or something like that, because this guy's coming out, something to prove. He's on a good team at Philly. Okay. He retired yesterday.
You know, man, a lot of these guys that retire like this
at 28.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these guys that retire before the season like this, I have a hard time buying into it. Even like a Michael Gallup or something like that. I have a hard time. I need to see him like Tom last year. I need to see him sit a full season all the way through and be retired. Then it's kind of hard. When you have a whole nother off season, all that stuff, then it's kind of hard. But when it's still like right now they're retiring, they don't want to go to training camp and stuff. But when you sit at home for a couple months there, then all somebody starts calling, offers up a little money, and all that. They still got the fire in their belly. I mean, you'll see some of these guys that retired probably wind up being back in uniform before the season's over with. So until he sits out a full year, I'm like, you still got some miles on those legs, bro. You may not be healthy right now, but you retire, you go do your thing for a couple months, and then somebody's like, hey, want a shot?
I just want to say for another time, this is like third time this like past month or so, you've brought up Tom, and I did not. All right, I did not. That was all you.
He's just the only person I know to compare a lot of these things to, man.
It's
Like Tom,
it's like he's the GOAT or something. I don't know. It's weird.
I'm actually still not convinced Tom's done.
Stop it.
I hate to lead you
Don't
on.
do that to me.
Lead you down that yellow brick road, man. But I'm still not convinced.
You know that's my weak spot, man. You know that's my weak spot. You know what's hilarious, Cricket? Patriot 4165's here. Good morning, Patriot. And he decides to join us on Eagles Day and not the Cowboys Day.
Yeah. He came in and spoke the spread last time before I lost my power there, and he said he was talking to Super James. Said he forgot he didn't get to see the show yesterday morning. He assumed we picked the Cowboys to go 17-0.
Pretty much. Hey, we did say Dak MVP at 25-1 seems like a steal.
There he is again, right there. 17-0 with the Super Bowl ring, baby. We did say that though. We did say put your little sprinkle on Dak at 25-1 for the MVP, and I'm gonna do that, man. I didn't do it yesterday, but I am gonna do it today because I think that's a pretty good little bet there.
It is. It is. Did you see this yesterday, Cricket? Did you? Well, you probably didn't because you didn't have any power. This is real. This is real. 7-4 Victor Wembanyama playing against Yuki Togashi.
Is this actually
he's like 5'4" or 5'6"? He says 5'4" here. I think he's actually 5'6", but still.
This is like actual footage of the first Space Jam, man. Is that a monster?
I don't know who won, but I was looking at some highlights, and I'm like, I don't think this guy did as terrible as you thought he would.
I'm just saying. It looks like that guy could run circles around that big dude. That big dude doesn't look like the most athletic cat on the planet right there.
The big dude?
Oh, his damn legs are taller than him, dude.
This big dude?
Yeah.
That's Victor Wembanyama.
Is it Wembanyama?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell it was, but his legs are taller than him, bro.
I know. I wonder if his vertical, if you can even get his fingers above Wemby's head.
No, I don't know, bro. You're playing ball. I mean, that's professional.
That's only a 24-inch vert. Not even, because you can extend up.
That dude is probably like a little cricket, man. He probably jumps out the gym, bro. God, Wembanyama is so tall, bro. His legs are. That dude literally comes up to his waist, man. Looks like me playing basketball against my kids.
Yeah,
straight up.
Yeah, and that's in the Olympics.
Cricket
happened yesterday.
That guy doesn't look very athletic. It's Wemby. You dumbass.
That's what I was like. Did you not hear me say it was Wemby?
Read the caption, Cricket. You fucking fool.
I didn't want to say it, but I was like, Cricket. I said it was Victor
Wembanyama. Bro. That guy's going to be the greatest basketball player to ever live. I'm just like, he's probably not very athletic. No, Victor Wembanyama is a pretty athletic dude. It's just hard when you see guys that tall, man. Let's be honest. The majority of them are not that athletic.
No, they are.
Victor's a little bit of a anomaly.
They aren't. But this one's pretty good at sports.
Good at hoops anyway.
Up next, we got Bengals unveils state-of-the-art locker room renovation. I just thought this was cool. Look at this.
Oh, these are so cool. Does everybody not have a state-of-the-art locker room now? God, that's dope.
Look at that.
That's what I'm saying. I hear these all the time. They come out and they're like, boy, that does look good.
So this looks good, but I want to know all the extra stuff, like the perks.
That's
like,
what I'm going to say.
You got like the little, the state-of-the-art sauna, massage table, stuff like that, right? Like this is cool and whatnot, but I want to know as a player, like what kind of snacks do we got?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I need to know what
chef in there.
Buffet y'all rolling out each day. Yeah. Absolutely, man. But like I said, doesn't everyone have a state-of-the-art locker room now if you're an NFL team? I mean, if you don't, it's probably hard to keep some players, man. There's a lot of teams out there with some real nice shit.
I don't know, man. Do the Bucks?
Raymond James is pretty. I mean, the stadium's not. Like I said, it's an NFL locker room.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like you're playing at the middle school.
Here we go.
Pretty nice.
You ready to get warmed? Or you ready to get heated?
Uh-oh.
Boxer who failed gender test at World Championship cleared to compete at Olympics. So a male boxer who was banned from the Women's World Boxing Championship in 2023 because he is, surprise, a man, has just been cleared to compete in Women's Olympics boxing in Paris. Soon the whole world will get to watch a man repeatedly beating a woman with the intended result of knocking her unconscious.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is why the Olympics.
You're gonna see it, dude.
This is why the Olympics is garbage. Absolute garbage right here. And also, how do you fail a gender test? Do they just grab you between the legs? Is that what they do? Is that how they decide? Give me a break, man. What are we doing?
I think even internationally, that is
that's what I'm saying. Domestic violence is illegal in other countries too. It's not the only country we are against domestic violence. Like, give me a break. What are we doing? This is fucking retarded, man. And the Olympic Committee, you've got all these people sitting up here on this damn committee that can sit and get these decisions together and stuff. And they have to come to a decision. And all of them people decided, hey, that's cool. We're going to let a guy that was born with a ding-ding go out here and just beat on women. I hope this dude doesn't even medal.
First of all, I don't know how you pick this. Like, of all the sports to let a male compete against a woman, like, if you're gonna do
fighting,
why would this is the worst one? Like, this is the one that's definitely gonna get headlines and has I mean, he could kill a girl out there, dude.
Literally. You're built different, bro. You were built to be bigger and stronger by God. Nobody else decided that. God decided you were gonna have a ding ding.
Yeah. There was other women that were men that were competing as women in some Olympic stuff, and I saw someone for the US and people were, you got the left and right going at each other on Twitter about it, and someone on the left's like, look at these right-wing extremists. This person's given blood, sweat, and tears, and they're about to win their country a gold medal, and they're bashing her for being he called him a her, even though we all know it's a he, and whatnot. And even though she's out there doing the best she can, and everyone's like, she's a dude.
Yeah, fuck your pronouns. Fuck out of here. Stupid shit. You out there, like I said, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I noticed you were going to bring something about this up. I saw it on your Twitter line last night. I didn't read into it. I just saw where it said something about dudes playing women's sports. I was like, oh, he's trying to get me fired up right off the rip this morning. I ain't going to let it get into it because my kid's still sleeping there and I don't want to act a fool and wake them up just yet. But this is ridiculous, man. At what point does this stop? Like, and how are there this many people in the world that support this and are just that fucking stupid?
Is it wrong of me to want him? Like, I don't usually like violence or people dying or anything like that, but is it wrong of me to hope that someone gets severely injured in this so then we can finally be like, hey, look it. And then maybe we put an end to all this shit? I don't know.
I mean,
that's what it's going to have to sadly, that's what it's going to have to take.
Yeah,
Someone's going to have to die or get severely injured.
Some kind of brain injury.
Where they cannot cover it up and ignore it. Where the news can't just be like, oh, see, look at that.
Yeah, and then y'all need to tune in the Sports Morning Espresso Shot. We can say we told y'all were fucking fools for doing this stupid shit, man. Come on. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It doesn't matter if it's basketball, if it's badminton, if it's fucking swimming. Y'all have heard me rant about the damn swimmers that get out there and act like they did something, beating women by 4 or 5 breaststrokes or whatever the hell they want to call the shit. Come on, man. And like you said, Will, now it was bad enough they were letting them play like rugby and stuff. We showed that one clip that one morning, that dude just lighting those chicks up on the rugby field. That was bad enough. Now you're going to put them out there in combat sports, literally what 95% of the world deems an illegal act. And we're just, cool. We'll just put it on the biggest stage. Just put it on the biggest stage.
Trucking all those women on rugby was hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just like, and at a certain point, I'm like, women, if you're not speaking back against this, at some point, it's kind of your fault too. If there's no women out there that have a problem with this and are speaking back out against it, you speak out against everything else. But
yeah,
it's ridiculous, man.
It is disgusting. Bold Series says, if I knew I could just box women, I would have went to the. If I knew I could just box women, I would have went to the Olympics too. That's right.
We could have a wall full of gold medals hanging up there right now. Give me a break. I hope this person doesn't even make the podium. I hope they get straight up KO'd. In Olympic boxing, they make you wear the head. I'm pretty sure they still do make you wear the headgear and all that stuff because it's kind of like it's almost like it. I think so. I'm pretty sure in the Olympics. I'm pretty sure now. I'm not
What
positive,
a bunch of pussies.
but I think you have to wear like the sparring headgears or something like that. But
Right.
and maybe that's prelims or something. But either way, it's ridiculous.
Eh.
So ridiculous. I hope they get straight up just KO'd like round 2. Hope they go out in round 1 and get their ass whipped, and it's kind of like and everybody's hype about it, and then the chick comes out and just right on the temple, just done. Can't even get up for the 10 count.
I'd be okay with an illegal like kick, like a kick to the head.
Even a low blow. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Be like,
Little
shouldn't matter.
boom, and then just right as he goes down, a little uppercut. Oh, that'd be great.
Shouldn't matter. See, you got punched in the ding ding.
That'd
That
be
was
great.
supposed to be a cunt punch. Sorry.
That's awesome.
Dumbasses.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Hey, MLB trade deadline was yesterday. Did you look into any of this?
I didn't realize I was asking them on Smoke the Spread before I got cut off. It was like 5:20. I was like, when is the trade deadline? They were like 30 minutes. And I was like,
Yeah, I was gonna say it's today, sir.
Yeah. So I didn't see any late acquisitions or anything like that. So what happened yesterday evening?
Let me fill you in. Well, did you know? I don't think this happened yesterday, but it happened sometime recently, obviously. But our buddy Paul Blackburn got traded. I didn't realize that.
Where's
He's
he
on
at?
New York Mets now.
Man, that's a good pickup for them as well as
The
their
Mets were very, very active. They got a lot of pieces.
Man,
we knew they would
a good one too. You know how we feel about that guy, man.
Yep. The biggest news is so some of the big news from yesterday is the Dodgers got
Flaherty.
Flaherty. There we go. I always get that wrong. Flaherty from Detroit.
That's a good.
A lot of teams were in the mix. New York was in the Yankees were in the mix. Everyone was in the mix for him. Got him, and slight tick down in their World Series odds. They went from plus 330 to plus 300. Now they are the favorites to win the World Series, as they should be, dude. I mean, the fact that they got that guy. You know what's crazy?
Go ahead.
The White Sox went and signed what's his name? Pham. Was a third baseman that used to play for the Dodgers, won a World Series, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Got him no one was like signing him. They signed him. They got him just to be able to trade him away this season, because that's what they did. They just started trading pieces. Them and the Marlins started trading everyone. It's actually very smart from the White Sox. But some of the winners and losers from yesterday, according to this ESPN article, the Dodgers obviously have to be winners because they got Jake Flaherty, got Tommy Edman, Ahmad Rosario, Michael Kopech, and Kevin. How do you say that?
Kiermaier? I'd say Kiermaier.
Okay, there we go. Dodgers were active. They were making moves. Teams that were not active, the Braves didn't do anything. But I mean, can you really blame the Braves? They've had so many injuries that it's like, why would we just trade away a bunch of prospects?
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to give away your whole farm system in a year that you just really had some bad luck, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. Other winners: Arizona Diamondbacks were pretty active. Baltimore Orioles were pretty active.
Who did the Orioles? I know they got Eflin there. Did they pick up anybody else? Any other big names? Any big sticks or anything?
Let's see: Trevor Rogers, Grayson Rodriguez, Corbin Burns, and Dean Kremer.
That's their starting rotation.
Yeah. Let's see.
Either way, adding Eflin to that rotation is pretty strong for the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles got a lot of big sticks, so they didn't necessarily need to tweak that lineup too much.
Yeah. Oh, other movers actually were where are they at? I don't know if they have it on here. The Mets added 6 veterans. So they added Jesse Winker, Paul Blackburn,
Oscar
Brosman, thank you. Tyler Zuber, Ryan Stanek, and Phil Matten. Okay. But another big winner, actually, they don't even have them up here. I was listening to someone talk about it this morning. Do they? There we go. The Cardinals. They were the ones that, so they decided to deal Dylan Carlson in a bit of a head slapper, because a guy that they wanted to move, that they couldn't move, and they were able to move because they were able to trade for Tommy Pham.
Yeah, and the big one for me there, man, they brought old Fetty Wap over from the White Sox. That guy's good, dude. that guy's a good starting pitcher. Been solid. I think he won a third of the damn White Sox games they've won this year when that guy was on the bump out there. So I think that's a great pickup. I know E really wanted old Fetty Wap to come to the Brew Crew, but instead he goes in division to one of the division rivals, man.
Yeah. And then, so they made some moves. They're only 2 games out, so they made some moves. Watch out for the Cardinals. Might be a sneaky team making it in there. You never know. I haven't got to dive into this much. They're losers. They say the White Sox are losers just because you offload a bunch of people. I mean, these guys, like I was saying, they traded Pham and they didn't really even want Pham there or whatnot. They just picked him up off the couch. But I don't know MLB prospects all that much, but I do know if you trade some of these good players away, you're going to get some pieces back. And then I bet the Tigers got a load. What did they get? Like you got to imagine for Flaherty there that they got a lot of young.
I was saying, you got a lot of guys that don't even have pictures on their baseball card yet.
Yeah, that we'll probably know about later because the Dodgers have a lot of those guys. They got good
and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's how you look at a team like the Orioles. The Orioles been building their farm system for the last 5+ years or so, and it's paying off pretty well. So it's not, you don't necessarily have to, like I said, not necessarily a big loser, but obviously not win right now type of thing. There, go back to the White Sox just a little bit, and I know they had some drama kind of with Garrett Crochet, one of the pretty much the ace of their staff there. He's wanting to be traded and stuff too. This guy, he used to be a Vol, played for my Vols in college, and then came out and he wound up having Tommy John surgery in 2022. Only pitched like 12 innings last year. Wanted to go back to starting rotation, did this year, and pitched well. But like they had pretty good discussions with the GM and stuff. They had been kind of open. They cared about his career and stuff. And I didn't really like the way Crochet and his agent did it, man. They kind of came out with them people on the spot, and that's the thing, is like there wasn't no need to bring it out to the media yet, because the GM even said, he's like, I was caught aback by this because we've been having good talks. We've been honest. We've been telling him we're focused on his career. We're not trying just to hang on you to burn you out and all that stuff. And it's like, then they told him everything was good and they were going to figure something out. And then all of a sudden they kind of overnight go out to the media and leak. You know how it is. You leak all this shit on anything and it's everywhere by the time you wake up the next morning. And so it was I didn't really like the way Crochet and his agent handled that thing. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it, but I just think, that sort of thing. If you got a franchise that's trying to help you and trying to work with you, I don't think you just come out and directly blast them to the media. It's still your employer, man.
Yeah. What's crazy is check this out. So you know what we need to do, Cricket? We need to maybe on Saturday or one of these days we'll get because I think it works out better for him on Saturdays. We'll bring in our MLB expert so he can kind of tell us. He can sift through all this stuff for us and let the audience know, hey, here's what we need to pay attention to, right?
That's right. Hey, speaking of Pham, did you see that Patriot put got it in there in the chat? But
yep, that's what I'm pulling up next.
His first at bat, bro. Let's go.
His first at bat back with the Cardinals is a grand slam. Well,
little pinch hit.
Way to energize that. That makes the trade worth it, right? Right there. It says, hey, you got your money's worth.
If they're in the skybox, that dude does that. And he just like, bring me a shot. Let's go, man.
What's James, up, James? 299. Oh, good morning. Can someone help me? Of course, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help.
How can we help you, sir? What do you need help with, man?
What can we help you with? You know what we can help you with, James? If you've got a pet, we can help you with the ultimate pet nutrition. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Right, Cricket?
Pause for positive?
Nope.
Oh.
This is the ultimate health nutrition, right? If your dog's coat is dull, energy is low, he's itchy. It's that time of the year, dude. Itchy ears, all that stuff, allergies, all that pollen in there and stuff like that. Them rolling around and stuff that they don't even, you don't even know. They come back and you're like, what the heck were you rolling around in, right? What could you have possibly gotten into? Itchy ears are red if their breath or poop smells very bad. If they're just not doing well, when your little friend, right? When your little buddy, when he's off, like, you're not acting normal, Yep. These can be warning signs of bad health. The first thing we want to look at is nutrition, because not just like us. I mean, look at us. We get in bad health because of our nutrition, right? And you see it. Blood pressure goes up, diabetes, blood sugars start rising, high cholesterol. getting a little dad bod, right? We try to excuse it as a dad bod, but it's like, no, maybe you should put down all those beers that you're drinking every night. Will, gosh, I mean, what we're talking about dogs here. Basically, the dog food makers take healthy ingredients and pressure cook them at a super high temperature, Cricket. And when it comes out the other end, you've got this brown mush. The food is supposed to last for 2 to 3 years on the shelf, which is kind of gross. That's kind of like that McDonald's thing, right? Where that McDonald's thing can last like a year in the fridge, like a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Dogs also lick their butts, so
that's well, some humans do too. I mean, when surrounded by not theirs necessarily, but you know what I mean. Let's see, but that means some pretty bad stuff has gotten into the food to make it last that long. Studies show that this process can even lead to serious conditions. Dr. Gary Gary R. has helped thousands of dogs with issues that seem impossible to go away. He's made a video to alert you, every pet owner. Let me try that again. He's made a video for you and every pet owner that must know, and you can watch and learn more about it here at the ultimatedoghealth.com/studio. I got this pulled up right here. This is the video. ultimatedoghealth.com/studio. I'm going to send a lot of my patients to this. I got a lot of people come and ask me pet stuff, and I'm not supposed to be able to talk about pet things because
you're not a vet
outside the scope. Yeah, I'm not a vet, right? No. Okay. Yeah.
This is not animal medical advice.
Yeah, exactly. It's linked at the bottom of this video. Make sure to go to ultimatedoghealth.com/studio or click on the link in the description below or scan that QR code right there. If you got a pet, listen, if you got a pet, it's that time of the year. What's it going to hurt you to go listen to this video real quick, just so you can know the signs, symptoms, or things to be cognitive of. And then also, you want to keep them healthy. We want to learn about these dog foods, right? We want to learn about it, make sure we're getting good stuff into our pets. So go over to ultimatedoghealth.com/studio today and, check it out.
That's right.
Man, I am stumbling out the gates today. I can't even do the intro right.
Hey, good morning, Bold. I didn't realize that was you in there, man. I looked down, I saw the B. I thought Blue had already stuck in here. I didn't realize that was you. You're right, man. We could have piled those medals up, couldn't we, man?
Yeah, I think we helped James. He's like, someone help me. Yes, I think
James just wanted to know somebody was there to help, man. We're here to help, man. Hope you're doing all right, James.
There you are, James. Let's what order do we want to do this? What time is it? Okay, we'll start with the Eagles right now. Screw it. We'll start with did I change that around? What did I do? What am I doing? What am I doing here? What do we got pulled up? Oh, that's what we got. Okay.
We know
I swear I have all this prepared and everything. I swear. I don't know what it is this morning. Okay. Let me stretch.
Stretch, could you
We're going to get into the Philadelphia Eagles, people. By the way, shout over to Rumble. They got us up on the top spot right now. Rumble, you too good to us.
Too good to us, man. Get you some of that P-berry, man. Wake up.
Yeah, I need to go get another cup of it. That's for sure. Yeah, there they are. They got us at the top spot. They're too good to us. And then here I am stumbling through this stuff this morning. Come on, Will. What are you doing?
Get it together.
God, Tom wouldn't put up with this shit, huh?
No,
Fourth
sir.
quarter. We need you to pick it up.
I bet you Tom ain't stumbling out the gate week 1, Browns, Cowboys.
I feel like I'm playing like him for the first 2.5 quarters of that Falcons Super Bowl, and now we're about to turn it on. Now we're about to crank it up. Because you know what happened when it was 28-3, right, Cricket? You know what happened after that.
Yeah, that will be
about to watch a replay of it right here, because here we go. We're back better than ever. Let's hit the reset button again.
You got some tickle bitties and you don't know how to swing? Well, I'm here to help you. Next, you want to tuck your right arm and lay your left arm on top of that mommy milker. Bombs away.
Bears here. Bear says, as a local purpose samurai, I wish y'all good morning. There we go. That's how we started.
That's right, Bear.
All right, Cricket. We got the Philadelphia Eagles that we're talking about today. For those of you that are new, welcome in. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. What we do is every day during the summer, we talk about one NFL team. Right now, we're on the NFC East. We did the Cowboys yesterday. Now we're on the Eagles today. We're going to recap just a little refresher. What happened last season with them, right? Let's just go through. Let's look real quick. What happened last season with them? What did they do in the offseason? Who did they lose in free agency, gain in free agency? What did they do during the draft? Any relevant news? Like you had the Chiefs. I mean, it was like every other day someone's getting arrested for something or something crazy was happening, right, with the Chiefs. And then salary cap stuff, like here with the Eagles, there's some really scary salary cap stuff. Not for this season, but for the upcoming seasons, it's kind of crazy. And then we'll go ahead and preview with a little bit of guess the lines as we look at this year's schedule and kind of guess to see what the point spread is going to be on the games. And then we'll go to the betting market and take a look and see, okay, what does the betting market expect from this team this year? Can we find some nuggets? You ready to do this, Cricket?
Yeah.
You know, the Eagles last year, I feel like a lot of people, we're kind of in that world where it's like, what have you done for me recently? And I feel like everyone's got a sour taste in their mouth from the Eagles. And how can you blame them? Because they lost 5 of their last 6 games of the season there. They had the division wrapped up in 1, but that curse of no team since I still haven't looked up the stat. Maybe Patriot. No, Patriot. When was the last time someone in the NFC East won back-to-back division titles? But that curse is real because the Eagles were about to do it. And they lost 5 of their last 6. Cowboys win the division, and then so this means that Eagles, instead of hosting a home playoff game, they got to go on the road, and they go lose to your Tampa Bay Bucks. Now, your Bucks were about the exact opposite at that point. They were playing some of their best ball, and they handled the Eagles easily, 32-9, which was quite crazy. You remember those couple goal line stands?
Straight up.
Same thing that they did in like week 2 of the season, or whatever week it was.
On 4th down twice last year.
Yeah, it was
only got
crazy.
stopped like 3 or 4 times. We stopped it like half the times.
Yeah, when that happened, when they stopped him in the goal line in that playoff game, I go, "Oh, Tampa's winning this game."
Bro, I got way too hype in that moment.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But the reason why I bring this up is because I think people forget this team usually after coming off a Super Bowl, like Super Bowl appearance, you have that Super Bowl hangover.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at how the season ended last year, you'd say, "Oh yeah, that happened to the Eagles." Not really. They started the season off 10-1. That's pretty good, Cricket.
10-1, bro. Yeah, I mean, you're sitting there just licking your chops, gearing up. Like I said, you go on a little tough stretch there. We saw this team kind of, and we talked about it last year, man. I think that was a lot of kind of locker room issues and different things. There were different rumblings about different players and different problems they were having in the locker room with certain guys and all this stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was a collapse of monumental proportions there. You talk about 5 of 6 in the regular season, 6 of 7 overall to end the year right there as far as losing those games, and gives you a real long off season. I'm anxious to see how they respond, bounce back. Jalen Hurts has always been one of those guys. In every moment I've ever seen that guy have some adversity, he usually comes out the next year and as a football player better. That's what I've seen. So I want to see, at some point you got to figure you can't continue to do that. So what kind of chips he got on his shoulder? Because it's really going to boil down to that, how well that guy plays.
Okay, Patriot, cover your ears. We don't usually do it this way, but I just want to state this right now before we get into all this. I actually think the Eagles are going to have a good season. I really do. I think one of the things is last year, remember they had those young pieces. It was they called them the Georgia Eagles, right? Because they had all the young Georgia Bulldog defensive players, right?
Philadelphia
Bulldogs. I feel like those defensive players, it takes a little while to mesh. And last year they didn't, even though they went 10-1, they weren't playing as well as we thought that their defense would be playing, right? I have a feeling this year it's going to be different. Another year underneath their belt to kind of mesh together. The offense is going to be the offense. The offense we got to worry about because as we'll get into, obviously Jason Kelsey's gone, so that's good. That's one worry point. Changing the guy that's calling all the plays on the line there, and kind of the leader of the locker room and whatnot. But I think the offense is going to be a-okay, and I think if that defense can play well and play well later on in the season, I think I'm expecting the Eagles to be a contender this year, and I don't see why they shouldn't be. They've got all the pieces.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. And you got a lot of big, added, we'll talk about it in a minute, but added some key pieces there that can really help this team out. And you got a quarterback that's shown the ability to be one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league at any given time. You got some key weapons on the outside. You got some good pieces on the defense. You got some young guys that are going to develop better into the, obviously as they prolong their career there. So, I mean, the Eagles got all the pieces. I also got to see how head coach Nick Sirianni responds here, man. Well, what kind of?
He's on the hot seat because they fired everyone but him. So it's like, listen, dude, if this doesn't turn out the way we want it to turn out, you're next. Like you're
kind of like, okay.
You can like the guy all you want, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like
it's about wins, man.
Yeah, and it's clearly you now because you got rid of everyone.
You
It
got rid of
wasn't his
heavy
fault. It wasn't his fault that he lost his offensive and defensive coordinator after the Super Bowl run because that's just what happens.
right.
But yeah, you gotta figure it out here. But let's see.
I mean, because it's
They
kind of hard to just like be done with that guy. He took you to the Super Bowl, then he started you out 10-1,
and
you
the
had
players seem to like him.
Yeah, and your players seem to like him, and you had a couple bad months there. At this point, it's a couple bad months. You can't let it lead to a couple more bad months because then you're gonna get axed.
Is it just me? Am I insensitive when I say when I saw the coach when he was out there at the Super Bowl and they're doing the national anthem and he's crying before the Super? I don't like that. I don't like it, man. I know you're emotional. It's a big spot. I want Belichick. I want the Belichick straight face, mean mug. Like we're here to do a job. Cry after you win. You know.
To each their own. Yeah, to each
I
their
know.
own.
I know. It's each their own. It's just not how
But
I am. And if
you've reached that, but I'm with you, man. I'm the same way. I'm all about the. I don't like. You want to go cry by yourself after the game and collect your thoughts and all that, that's fine. But you prepared your whole life to get to this moment. But this isn't where you wanted to stop.
And it's nothing against the national. I mean, maybe he's just crying because he's honored for the country and it's not the flags up there. That's great. Keep it together a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. But you're in a profession where it's all about mindset and mental.
You're the leader.
You're the leader, man. You're the leader. Like I said, I don't like crying on the field either, man. I ain't never been a fan.
Hey, yeah. Listen, they released a couple players here. They released Kevin Byard and Avonte Maddox there. Some of the bigger things, let's see. I'm trying to just skim through here. We'll get to so they agreed to terms with Jake Elliott on a 4-year contract. I don't know why I love when kickers get paid. I still feel like they're like a good kicker. I feel still like they're underpaid.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I got to step away for 2 seconds.
I want my kids to grow up and be kickers. I want to just start having. I took Ace out to the baseball park yesterday, and we started hitting balls off the tee for the first time, and throwing a baseball. But I think I should just start having them kick a football. Well, it's in a soccer ball. We'll go back and forth because you figure out the soccer stuff is going to help you with the football. But the big news, of course, with the Eagles was they were able to snag Saquon Barkley away from the Giants. He signed a 3-year contract, really a 2-year contract. But yeah, they get Saquon Barkley there. They agreed to terms with C.J. Gardner-Johnson on a 3-year contract. They brought in Devontae Parker on a 1-year deal. So, I mean, a good veteran player there. A lot of these ones, you just want those veteran guys in there just because they've been in the league. They know what to do. They can help, as long as they're a good locker room guy, that's a value that you won't see in the stats, right? You won't see that on the field. Well, you might see it on the field, but you won't see it, the behind the scenes stuff. Man, I am struggling today. Then they were able to get QB Kenny Pickett as backup. I don't think that's a bad move. I think that they had Mariota, I think was there. Mariota was there beforehand. Now they got Kenny Pickett, old small hand Kenny Pickett. Good for them. Now they got their backup. Let's see. Agree to terms with linebacker Devin White. Good move there. All in all, I mean, they were making some moves this season. Agreed to terms with wide receiver. Oh yeah, that's his rookie contract. They released Avonte Maddox and they brought him back. Look at that. You love to see it. They exercised their 5th-year option to Devontae Smith. Agreed to terms with AJ Brown on a 3-year contract extension. So Brown's happy. He's paid. He got a lot of money. Yeah, didn't he get like 3 years, like 80-something million, like guaranteed? Let's see. Eagles trade. Oh, they did a bunch of trades. I don't think there was anything major after that. The big moves is they extended some guys, Cricket. They got Saquon Barkley. They brought in some veteran guys. I didn't realize they brought in these guys, Cricket. I wanted to get your opinion real quick. Stuff that you won't see behind the scenes, but they were able to where I just lost it. It was Devontae Parker. There we go. So they brought in CJ Gardner-Johnson, and then they brought in Devontae Parker. Good, some veterans there.
Veteran guys there. Yeah, big one for me is losing Hassan Reddick to the Jets there. He was a big piece of that defense off the edge. Obviously bringing in Saquon's a big deal. You got Goddard at tight end, but I do like Uzomah as a back, at least a credible backup there.
Well, then I say this, and then look, Devontae Parker retired. I didn't realize that. Man,
a lot of people said that. I was like, geez, I like Devontae Parker and always have been a fan, but I was like, God, he's older than me at this point. Yeah, but he's good. Well, hey, he's retired. But then they signed John Ross. Isn't John Ross the guy that's the fast, speedy guy that the Bengals drafted a long time ago, right? Played for Washington. Yep. Sure enough.
Yeah.
That is.
Okay, I
So
want to look at their before we go over into their draft picks real quick. I want to check this out. Because they've got a squad, dude. They've got a squad. So they got your guy Kenny Pickett.
yeah,
Old small hands, Kenny Pickett.
man, Kenny Pickett has let me down.
Dude, look at this team, though. I was looking at their roster. I was like, damn, these guys are stacked. So you got Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Paris Campbell out of Ohio State, Dallas Goedert. And they still got Lane. I mean, your main offensive lineman there is Lane Johnson. Obviously, the big news is going to be, I guess we didn't talk about that, but Jason Kelsey retires, right? I didn't see it in there, but I'm
you
sure it's
mentioned
somewhere
it.
in there.
I mean, you touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, so that's huge. So we'll have to see. But I mean, for the most part, they've got that. They've got some good backups there. You got I still like late round fantasy football. Kenneth Gainwell. I'm telling you, this kid is good. This kid is good. He just every year they just keep bringing in bigger names. Like they pay a bunch of guys, so then they get the number one spot. Like Gainwell's that guy. Like, don't be surprised if you see him in the red zone, right? Because he can catch. He can catch.
They got they picked up. Did we talk about their draft?
We're going into that next.
Okay.
I just wanted to look at this because this is crazy. I mean, you got Devin White, Nolan Smith Jr., Darius Slay, CJ Gardner Johnson, Jalen Carter. I mean, look at these guys, dude. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean that's Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter was like two of Georgia's greatest defensive linemen ever, just sitting right there in the middle, staring at you every play.
Yeah, and they got a year under the belt.
Yeah, they're just getting better.
Yeah, didn't they sign to who's their did Fangs go to the Eagles?
Who's that?
Fangio.
I believe he did go up there.
Vic Fangio. This is another thing too. Fangio. Remember last year? So his defenses usually take like half a season to kind of hit the, finally get going, which is how you want it to, right? You want your defense to start meshing in the middle of the season. But it wasn't until Miami brought back what's his name? I always forget his name, but a cornerback. Once he has a couple solid
Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, once Ramsey came back, then that defense was just fire. It was fire.
Yeah,
this defense is ready to go. So I can't wait to see what Fangs does with his defense.
That's what I'm saying. This is a team, man. The more I look at this roster, and so I want to see the schedule and all that too. But this might be a team that I do wind up being kind of high on. I do expect a bounce back season from these cats. Not that they had a terrible one last year, just a bad end to it. But yeah, the more I look at this, man, the more I like this Eagles team.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I have been ignoring the chat. I'm sorry, boys. We're just trying to power through because I got a lot of time. But seriously, I don't know how to help you with your tech issues. Maybe somebody will pop in soon. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. Oh, he's talking to James. They're helping James out. See, chat's helping each other out. That's what we love to see. By the way, make sure you smash the like button while you're here. Algorithms and advertisers. That's what it helps with, people. Their draft picks, man. Tell me about this. I mean, they brought in this we were just looking at their roster. Is that guy even a starter? Let me see.
Who?
Let me see. Yeah, he is. Okay. Their number one draft pick right there. Their first round draft pick. Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. I remember when they made that pick. I'm like, a guy out of he's good if he's coming out of Toledo.
No, it's a good player. He was the number one ranked cornerback coming out. Got a 92 grade at the combine. Really kind of showed some flashes at the Senior Bowl, and then ran the second fastest 40 at the combine at 4.33 there. So this guy is an absolute burner. He's good on coverage. Good in man coverage there. Kind of a physical guy. 6 foot 195. Got good size on him there. And as far as a lot of big time, he played a lot of college football, but not a lot of those premier games in the SEC or the Big Ten or anything like that. But this guy's a great football player, man. I think this was a good pick.
Yeah, so apparently the Eagles, that's where they were lacking last year. They were 28th ranked in coverage last season, kind of why they collapsed. I mean, you can get all that pressure, but you also got to have some people, have some coverage. So they not with just the first round pick, their second round pick, 40th overall, they take Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. The Eagles add 2 top 10 players on the PFF big board in their first 2 rounds of the draft, both the cornerback position. DeJean projects as a movable piece in Vic Fangio's defense, who could theoretically end up outside in the slot or at safety. He's been extremely productive in Iowa's secondary, allowing just a 45 pass rating into the coverage over the last 2 seasons. That's pretty good. I know it's the Big Ten and some of those teams.
Well, The
some
Cooper
games, but
DeJean here. I like this guy. Comes from a defensive pedigree type school in Iowa. We know about that defense up there. Back in 2022, he returned 3 of his 5 interceptions for touchdown. Took a punt back for a touchdown last year. Cooper DeJean is a playmaker. That is a guy that's once again been a journeyman in college football, a leader of that Iowa defense last year. Another great pick right here, man.
James, can you go to Newsmax chat and say unmute James 2990? The Patriot hates the Eagles, but I don't think he hates them that much to turn away from the show. So it might be tough. It might be tough. We'll see. We'll see what we can do, James.
They got you muted, man.
Yeah.
If they got you muted, man, there ain't nothing we can do about that, man. We don't have connections like that, man. You got to stop saying crazy stuff if they got you muted, man.
Can you see? Okay. And then run through some of these other guys real quick. I got to step away for 1 second. I'm going to refill the coffee. Some of these other guys, can you see all this pretty well?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I got you. I got me one pulled up over here too. I believe this is Jalix Hunt out of Houston. It's kind of surprising pick for me here in the 3rd round. Don't know a whole lot about this guy from Houston Christian. Versatile defender, plays both off and on the line there. He's got a good first step. Got a lot of length in this closing burst. I think they see a pretty high ceiling with this guy. 6'4", 252, so a big guy there that can really be developed at the NFL level with the right coaching and all that stuff. Not that he had bad coaching, but there's a reason you're at Houston Christian and not Houston. So I don't really know a lot about this guy here, but obviously they see something they like in him. I see that in the 4th round there, the 27th pick of the 4th round, they pick up Will Shipley, the running back out of Clemson, another guy that's played a lot of big-time college football. Not an overly small guy, not a huge guy, but at 5'11", 206, definitely solid enough to give you some valuable carries there. And, he runs hard. He's been an instinctive guy down at Clemson. Like I said, once again, played in some big-time games. So not a terrible pickup there, but that's Saquon Barkley's job, obviously. And then you got Gainwell behind him. So Shipley probably not going to see a whole lot of carries. They might mix him in some packages, maybe look for some swing passes and things like that out of the backfield. Doing some check down type stuff, but he is a guy that if you put the ball in his hands can be electrifying at times. Then you got Ainias Smith, the wide receiver out of Texas A&M. I like this guy. I believe if I'm not mistaken, he wound up having a season-ending injury last year. I think he wound up it was about midway through the season, if I recall correctly, where he broke an ankle or something, had a leg injury where he was down. But he always been a guy that was kind of a burner. He is the only 2,000-yard receiver in SEC history to also record at least 250 rushing yards, punt return, and kickoff return yards. So did something in the SEC that ain't never been done before. But like I said, I think he went down with an injury last year, so I have to see how he responds with that. I know if it's who I'm thinking of, it was a season-ending injury. It's a pretty nasty injury, if I am remembering right there. So see how he responds from that. Then you got Jeremiah Trotter here. Another guy out of Clemson, linebacker, another guy that's, I think was projected to go a little bit higher in this. I believe he had a chance to come out the year before and probably would have went higher than this, but, still a guy that can make some plays for this team. He left Clemson as one of only 14 FBS players to record 10-plus sacks, 4-plus interceptions, 3-plus forced fumbles, and multiple pick sixes in the past 20 seasons. So Jeremiah Trotter Jr. can be a playmaker for this team. So I don't think it's a bad pick, especially in the 5th round. Trevor Keegan, offensive guard out of Michigan State, trying to bulk up that line a little bit. You got Johnny Wilson. This is kind of a sneaky pick here. Man, way down in the 6th round, 9th pick, the big receiver out of Florida State, got 6'6", 231. I thought Keon Coleman was the best receiver on that Florida State team, but Johnny Wilson not very far behind him. Another guy that I believe could have came out the year before, decided to go back to school and try to improve his stock. Didn't work out for him there, but he still got a roster spot, man. If you earn it there, you at least gonna get a chance to earn your roster spot. So a sneaky pick there in the 6th round. And then the last pick they had Dylan McMahon, also in the 6th round, another guard out of NC State. So trying to bulk up that line a little bit, but not a bad draft in my opinion.
Yeah, not a bad draft. Now, Cricket, I have an insane salary cap thing to show you with the Eagles. Yeah, so good draft. They addressed some needs. They got some top cornerbacks. They brought in, Fangs for defense coordinator. Going to be interesting to see how they use those pieces. But you got to see this, Cricket. You got to see this. Something I have not seen in my life with these contracts. But before we get to that, Cricket, I got to tell you about this routine that will change your life.
Chuck
this
Norris
2-minute. Yep.
Let's go.
Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s, Cricket. I guess we shouldn't be surprised because he's Chuck Norris. He's in his 80s, still kicking butt and working out and staying active. How does he do it? What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. And you got a bunch of kids over right now. Little kids, it takes a lot of energy out of you. Imagine doing that in your 80s, man.
I don't know that I can. I'm just trying to get to doing it in my 40s, bro.
That's what I'm saying. He did this by just making one change, Cricket, just one change, one little simple change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing, one simple thing. She too has never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner and she has energy all day. We're talking about old people here, Cricket.
Man, let's go.
Chuck has made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/studio. That's what I got pulled up right here. chuckdefense.com/studio. You can, or by clicking the link below this video or scanning the QR code that's popped up there, it'll take you to this chuckdefense.com/studio. It's a 2-minute routine. You got 2 minutes of your day that you could carve out to do this routine that will better your health. I think there's nothing better you can invest into, right? You got to invest into your body. That's number one thing. It'll change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/studio, and click the link in the description below to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. I saw this, Cricket. I'm like, done. 2 minutes. I'm gonna try to get in here 2 minutes before the show and just knock this routine out because I got this dad bod that we got to switch. We got to get it back in shape, Cricket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once again, chuckdefense.com/studio.
All right.
I love ad reads.
Hey, speaking of real quick, this is not medical advice. I mean, I guess I could because my doctor did tell it to me, and he does have an MD. So, but I had to go to my little yearly physical a couple weeks ago or whatever, and my doctor told me what he's been doing, man. Every night before he goes to bed, he takes a teaspoon of olive oil, just one teaspoon, and apparently it does a lot for your joints and different things. He's my doctor also has a farm, so he's a farmer in his spare time too, and stuff. He's like, he said he hadn't played golf in like 25 years. Hell, a couple weeks before that, he'd been doing the olive oil regimen for like 30 days. He's out there playing golf with his son because my doctor's in his late 60s at this point. So he said, I've never felt better. Like I said, not my medical advice. It did come from a doctor, but apparently a teaspoon of olive oil each night before you go to bed does you right.
There's a lot of little things like that. A lot of people have been people that deal with inflammation, stuff like that. Turmeric has been the hot thing in the last couple of years in the media. Some natural stuff. A lot of people looking for natural things,
Yeah, I mean, not a bad deal. You got to step away.
Not a bad deal at all. And I am not against telling my patients about those things. I'm right. The hardest part, like I said, is they always come to you asking. They want a cure. They want something, and the hardest thing is telling them there's nothing over the counter that's going to help you with that. Sometimes
there's just not a court. Sometimes you got to be tough.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you buy this thing that I know is not going to help you. You know what I mean?
Down here in the South, too, I hear some crazy backwoods remedies and stuff. Yeah. And I'll be honest, most of them damn things work.
Anyways, back to the Eagles here. So I was shocked by this. The Eagles cap space. You know me. I like to keep an eye on his salary cap because it matters. It really does.
Yep.
And we had Jalen Hurts sign that it was like a 5-year, $255 million contract, something like that. Where they paid him like $51 million a year.
Yeah.
And they still have $24.6 million in cap space this season. I'm like, how in the hell they got all these players? I know they got a lot of young guys, but I'm like, you got AJ Brown that you just extended. You just extended Jalen Hurts. I'm like, how are they able to get away with this? Look at this. Their cap hits are not. I mean, how many teams have we seen that easily? I mean, we just saw, what was it yesterday? Someone was 20-something million for the Cowboys, was the top guy or whatever, something like that. No, Dak was 58. It was something before that, but Dak was like 15.
A lot of guys they had to pay. Like
they don't have anyone that is a cap hit. Now, this is the cap hit. People are not what they're getting paid this season. Cap hit's what's going on the books this season. And Lane Johnson at 15.8 is the highest one. You got Jalen Hurts at 13.5. Man, you're paying your top three guys here, your most important guys, your right tackle for this team, your right tackle, you got your QB and Jaylen Brown. And I mean, that's what 11.5 right there. We'll say 12. So only 16% of your salary cap. That's crazy. But here's why. Cricket. Look at this. This is where I had to do some research digging in because I didn't understand a part of this. I still don't know if I fully understand it because
Right.
I don't get how this works and how they're able to do this. This is like must be some. These are like whoever's running the books for the Eagles are like some accountants that you go to, right? That they'll work within the gray, right? They know they're sharp,
live
right?
in
They're
the
like,
gray.
listen, trust me, we're good. We're good. This is gonna seem funky, but we're good. So he signed this 5-year, $255 million contract. Okay, look at the next year's his salary cap hit. So this year it's 13.5, 21.7, 31.7, and 41.8. I mean, by 2020, I mean, even by today's standards, where they got 41.8 is not bad, right? Not bad against cap. Here's where it gets tricky. They decided, and they've done with this with multiple players. They decided to do these void years. You can do these void years. I'm not going to try to explain. This is what I was researching last night. I'm not going to try to explain what these void years are. Just know that they are legal, but you're able to stretch out that money on the back end. The one problem with it is if you end up extending this player, this all the void years has to go into that new contract plus the new money that you give them. So basically, Jalen Hurts probably isn't going to be an Eagle unless he takes a huge discount because they're going to have to put in like $140 million worth of stuff in the void years just to on top of whatever he wants. And by then he'll probably want, if he is, franchise guy still wants $50 million a year or whatnot. So it's going to be a crazy contract, but look at these void years. Look at 2029 Cricket. He is a $97.5 million cap hit and won't even be on the team.
So
$97.5 million. I know the cap's going to go up, but how insane is that?
So if you void this, they don't have to pay that?
No, they do. They've paid him. They've paid him.
Do they still? So what is the point of the void? Like,
what they can extend it after he's off the team? That's the void. The void. It's tricky. It's complicated. That's why I said I'm not going to try to explain it.
Why didn't everybody do this?
Because you're going to start paying players that aren't on your team. That's why it's void, but you still have to account for it on the books. Because I was sitting here adding up. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. They guaranteed $110 million at signing. $179 million is fully guaranteed. I'm adding these numbers up. I'm like, we're not getting there. We're getting to the 110. We're not getting to the 179 plus what you're going to end up paying them. So, I mean, if they end up cutting them and after the 2027 season, then this stuff will go away and the void years will kick in. And because when you pay a player, it has to come on the books at some point, and you can only do voids. So like you can add void. It's something like what the original contract was, the number of years minus the year that's left. So if this one would be 5 minus 1, so that's why they have 4 years of void that they could add here. Does that make somewhat sense? So either way, they're gambling right now for they want to win now, right?
They got to win now.
Because look at these. You can't have 97 million on the books. I mean, it's so risky. It gets real tricky here with the proration options and signings. It's so confusing. But look they didn't do it with just him. They extended AJ Brown 3 years, 96 million. I've been wondering, like, how are they paying all these guys? Well, look at they got a void year cap hit in this the year after. So let's see, the year after. So in 2020. In 2030, he's a $53.5 million, and he's not even going to be on the team. Even if he was on the team, dude's going to be 33 years old.
They got $150 million in cap space tied up between two guys that aren't going to be playing.
Well, yeah, the 97.5 is 2029, but they still have 30 million on 2020 or 2030 for Hurts. So I mean, that's 83 million with two guys that aren't on your team. What are we doing?
And we all know that these guys, they're not going to play for free, man.
No, dude. So it's like it's insane. These void years. I went and looked at this. So here we are on their salary cap, right? It won't even let me go to 2029, but just look at this. Look how much is on the books already for 2028 of their cap space. They've already got, or of how much is allocated to 212 million, and we're talking 2028. A lot of these teams,
how much do you get?
Well, we don't know what the cap space is going to be.
Okay, we don't know.
It's like 256 or 260 or something like that. But I mean, the fact that they're number one in the league with how much cap they already have, like look at these cap hits.
Probably number one by double.
Yeah, probably. Look at this. Jalen Hurts is a 47. This is 2028, people. This is 4 years from now. They've got these guys on the books for this money. if you're an Eagles fan, you better hope they win the
And
Super
there
Bowl.
seriously may not be a single one of those guys wearing a Philadelphia Eagles helmet at that point.
Yeah, they even got 2028. They're going to still be paying Saquon Barkley on the books.
Yeah,
Barkley,
and he'll be 35.
He'll be gone.
Who pays running back? I mean, heck, I can't believe. I like Saquon, but I can't believe he got that much money going late in his career. Anyway, I mean,
yeah, crazy. So I mean, I saw that, Cricket, and I'm like, I had to do a double take. I'm like, there's no way that they.
Is this a newer thing? This void thing, or has this always been around?
I think it was part of the last CBA deal.
Okay. Because I mean,
I just haven't seen many teams do it. Maybe more teams are doing it. I'm not sure. I need to do a little bit more research into it. But the fact that you're going to have on the books $97.5 million for Patriot, you got to be happy about this. You know that the late 2020s and the early 2030s is going to be a terrible time for be an Eagles team. I'll tell you what. If I could get a bet now that the Eagles will finish last in their division in 2029, I'd bet it.
Max, you find those odds, bet it right now. I don't care what you got to lay, man.
This is them assuming that the salary cap is going to go up every year, and it has, but it's been going up at ridiculous rates. Now they are due to sign, a new media rights deal, but I can't see how it's going to go up enough to where, I mean, to justify any of this, you would have to hope that the cap gets to half a billion. You know what I mean?
And we're about to get Trump back in office, man. So we're going to be in better shape come next time around.
That's right, we are. It's just I saw that and it blew my mind, Cricket. I was like,
I don't know. That's your homework, man. You got to dive into this a little bit more to kind of figure out what the deal is here, because I need to know. I'm still a little confused on all. I just know that we do these. We've done them for 2 years now, and we've done them every team. I've never seen one of those little void slips down there. So I'm like, did y'all just decide to start doing this last week or something?
And because I was doing the math last night, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because you can't. Like, he's getting that money. He's getting paid. So it has to come on the books somewhere. Yeah. So I thought maybe these maybe these voids, they go away or something like that if certain circumstances. But I'm like, no, that's not true, because they've guaranteed X amount of money. And so they've paid him. Would have paid him that amount of money. I go, it has to come on the books at some point. The numbers here don't add up. So yes, I mean, these void years, they're there. That is insane.
Why wouldn't you try to spread that $97 million out a little bit more, man?
There must be some rules of what they can and can't do.
Yeah, I mean, you only got $9 million down there in 2032. I believe I'd added about $15 million to that, man. I mean, it at least gives you a little bit more wiggle room there. But you got $100 million tied up in one player for one season. I mean, hell, that pretty much, you might as well chalk that up as a lost season, man. You can't pay nobody else.
Yeah, you better hope that you're really good at drafting at that point.
Mm-hmm. Which they are.
They're good. Okay. Here we go. My favorite part. We're going to play Guess the Lines. We're going to do Philadelphia Eagles schedule coming up. They get to start the season off, Cricket. Oh, I'm going to let you guys. What are you going to put your bet in today?
Let's
over
see.
Unders 2.5.
Over unders 2.5.
Yeah, I nailed 4 right yesterday.
I'm going with exactly 2 today, sir.
Okay. I feel like the first one's kind of I haven't gone and looked at the week 1 lines. It's been about a week since I've looked at them. So they could have moved, but I feel like week 1's kind of cheating now because we're so close to the season starting. But they do start the season off. It's in Brazil Friday. So Thursday will be the first game of the season, as always, with the defending champs. And then the Friday before week 1 starts on Sunday, we'll have Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers in Brazil. That's going to be an interesting one. I'm going to say Eagles. I kind of know the line already, but I believe it's Eagles -1 right now.
Oh, I'm glad you missed this one. Eagles -1.5 down in Brazil. Let me ask you about that. How do you feel about this Brazil? Real quick, I know we got to keep rolling along here, but how do you feel about this Brazil game? What do you think? How is it going to work out?
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is really good at this international stuff. I mean, they don't do anything.
They are. I mean, I agree. They're as good as anybody as far as that goes. I mean, it's good to see the game growing, but I don't know. I'm anxious to see how the market works down there.
I kind of like it. I like that they're doing it to start the season, because then the players aren't like, I mean, they can prepare, get down there in time, plenty of time.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they'd rather play in Brazil than play over in Europe, because the time zones aren't as wild.
That's
because
true.
they're in the pretty much the same time zones as us, depending on where you're at.
The environment's a little more wild.
Yeah, but these guys, I mean, they're going to be it. They've got their own.
You shouldn't be. It's your own fault if you get anywhere you ain't supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like these guys are going to be in certain areas that are designated for them, state of the art stuff. NFL has all the money. They're prepping for, and it's their first Brazil one. They want to make it perfect. So nothing's gonna go wonky there. I don't think.
Famous last words.
Patriot says he thinks they're going to go 1-16. They might split with the Giants.
You give them the Commanders a sweep over them, huh?
Yeah, man. Okay, you're a Jaden Daniels fan. So then after that, they got look at that. They get a long break. So they play Friday. They got to come back, settle back in. I don't think you don't have to worry about jet lag. The only thing you have to worry about is the fact that it's a long, long flight down there.
Man,
but time zones and whatnot you should be fine.
Yeah.
But they open up week 2 with Monday Night Football home against Atlanta. I'm gonna say the Eagles are the market's high on Atlanta. But it's Monday Night Football. Eagles are home. Philly 5.5-point favorites.
Eagles -3.5 at the Falcons, and I'm seeing it right now. We ain't got the Falcons yet, but I'm fading the Falcons. They give the Falcons way too much respect. You got the Eagles coming off 10 days rest right there at home.
And Kirk Cousins ain't even playing in the preseason.
It don't matter if that Kirk Cousins. Anyways.
Oh, Kirk.
Bet the Eagles now on that line.
Okay, and then home against let's see. They're on the road in New Orleans. I'm going to say Eagles. Oh, this is going to be Eagles. Oh, this one's tough. This one's going to get me on a weird. Eagles 2-point favorites?
Eagles -3 at the Saints, man.
You gave them a full 3, huh? Okay.
Hey, so you talking about Kirk Cousins real quick. I was up last week with the boys up there at the hotel, and we're like swimming in the pool in the hotel, and they get a little football out, and they're passing this guy, and I knew I was in Minnesota, man, because the guy wanted to imitate. He's like threw a pass in the pool, and he was like, "Oh man, look just like Kirk Cousins." And I was thinking, yeah, that was a pretty terrible pass. So you do actually look just like Kirk Cousins, but your quarterback's Sam Darnold now, in case you didn't know.
Yeah, that's funny. And then they got to go on the road and play Tampa Bay. So they just knocked out. They're just playing the NFC South. They're just like, okay, we're gonna knock this out.
Pretty good one.
Yeah. Geez, I wonder if they have after 5 weeks what their record will be, because they have a bye. They have an early bye week. Anyways, they go down to Tampa, a little revenge game after Tampa knocked them out of the playoffs. I would say this one's going to be Eagles -2.
Eagles -3 at the Buccaneers.
-3 at both Saints and Tampa Bay. Wow, even with back-to-back road games.
On the road, too.
Yeah. Then they get an early bye week. Which they probably need after that long flight down to Brazil, and then you've got 2 road games in there, weeks 3 and 4. So okay, I never liked the early bye weeks, but who knows? Then after that, they're home against Cleveland. I gotta say, this one's gonna be tough. I want to say Philly 1.5-point favorites.
Eagles -3 against the Browns. This is like the Cowboys yesterday. You could say -1. You just say -3 every time. You'd have got the over.
Fuse is here. What up, Fuse? He says, "Go Birds." He's an Eagles fan.
That's right. Good to see you, Fuse. Hope all is well, sir.
3 division matchups at the end of the season is intense. Yeah, sometimes they do that to you. But
how some teams like that, like some teams just like pile all the division in the last month of the season, and some of them are, got one game in division.
Or they'll start. You play the first game against your division opponent, and then you play the last game against that same opponent.
Get the same opponent. Yeah, 4 months down the road.
Yeah. Okay. Man, okay, so -3 against Cleveland. I'm telling you, they are coming off a bye week though, but depending on how Cleveland's looking, I'll probably take the 3 points with Cleveland on that one.
I'll probably bet the Browns there, money line.
Let's see. So then they got to go on the road to New York against the Giants, not the Jets, the Giants. Eagles 3.5-point favorites.
Eagles -4.5 at the Giants.
4.5. Okay, 4.5. All right. Then they got to go to Cincinnati after that. I'm going to say, gosh, I can't. Cincy 1-point favorites.
Eagles +3 at the Bengals. A lot of respect for these Bengals too, man. A lot of question marks. It might be another team we got to fade.
I bet that now, because you don't even know who's going to be at quarterback for the Bengals by that week 8. Because Burrow, you never know, man. You just never know. Okay, then they're home against Jacksonville. Eagles. Well, let's just go with this. Eagles 3-point favorites against Jacksonville.
Eagles -3.5 at home against the Jaguars. Oh, this is fun.
And then the big game of the year, they got to go down to Dallas And I'm going to say Dallas is I should know this because we did this yesterday. 2.5-point favorite.
Cowboys -2 at home against the Eagles.
Son of a gun. I think I got that right yesterday. I got it wrong today.
Can't have nothing.
Few says big Eagles fan, wasn't Philly Center City when they won the Super Bowl in 2017. Changed my life. Hey, I want to show you something. Do I have it pulled up? I want to show you something real quick. You better hope, Fuse, that they win a Super Bowl the next few years, because in 2029 they have a $97.5 million cap hit for Jalen Hurts, and he's not even on the team.
As we say, for a guy that's going to be sitting in a press box somewhere.
Yep. And then another $30 million the year after, and then in that year you owe AJ Brown $58 million on the books. So
but, yeah, they ain't even give him that press box that second year either. They're gonna make him buy a ticket.
So where we're at, we're home against Washington. Eagles 6-point favorites against Washington here. Thursday Night Football
-7 at home.
Man, I'm all around it today. Pedro, I will keep you in mind. I'm all around it today. Okay. And then they got to go on the road to the Rams. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Rams. I think the Rams are one of those teams that if they went 8-9, I wouldn't be surprised. But if I had to pick someone, I won't want to say a dark horse, but someone to have like a 10+ win season, like a solid season, pick the Rams.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I did it last year too.
Rams, if they stay healthy, they should be. Let's see. So they got to go down to LA, play the Rams, and Eagles 1-point favorites.
Eagles are 0.5-point dogs. Rams -0.5 point.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically pick them.
Yeah.
That seems right to me. That seems right.
I'm supposed to travel.
And then after flying out to LA, they got to come back and go to Baltimore. Not a far trip there, but Baltimore 3.5-point favorites.
Ding, ding, ding. Baltimore -3.5 at the Eagles.
There we go. Got one right finally. Then we're home against Carolina. Eagles. What were they against New York? Eagles 7-point favorites.
Eagles -7.5 at home against the Panthers.
Son of a gun. I might actually look to take Carolina there.
They
just had two tough road games, and you got a big game.
They started imploding last year too.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking. I mean, you're gonna be 7.5 with Carolina.
I'm saying it's hard to
I'm just looking to fade after them playing Baltimore. You know what I mean?
It's still a professional football team, man. It's hard to beat a professional football team by more than a touchdown.
I
mean, it happens, but I'm just saying those two back-to-back tough games there, won them across the country. Yeah.
Home against Pittsburgh Eagles. God, I think this is gonna be a weird one. I think it's gonna be like Eagles 4.5.
Well, Eagles -4.5 at home against the Steelers.
I wanted to say 3.5. I'm like, but it's gonna be weird.
It was a weird
4.5.
I think I want to take the Steelers in that one right now.
There we go. Oh, sorry, I'm getting messages. Okay, then they're at Washington. So they were home against Washington, 7.5 at Washington. I'm gonna say Eagles 5.5-point favorites in Washington.
Eagles -3 at the Commanders.
They are given way too much credit for those flipping home field. Okay, and then home against Dallas, Eagles 2-point favorites.
Eagles -2.5 at home against the Cowboys.
I wanted to say 2.5 too. Damn it. And then home against New York, Week 18. I have no idea. This is going to be like a coin. I'm just going to say it's going to be something stupid like Eagles 5.5.
Oh, Eagles -5 at home against the Giants.
You hit your exacta.
My exacta. Got my money back for the last couple days. Let's go. It's a little plus 700 right there.
You're sweating that when you heard 5.
I was like, no way. You got me yesterday on my exacta. I had 3 yesterday, and you hit the last one to get to 4. And I was like, no way he's going to get me 2 days in a row. What are we doing?
Well, there's that. Okay, so we have that. That's their little preview. Let's go take a look at the betting market real quick with them.
This may be foolish. Are we down to 4 preseason games now? I mean, 3 from 4? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep. They want to make it 2.
They need to, and give us an extra regular season game. 2 bye weeks. Better product.
Yeah, that's when they need 2 bye weeks is what they need.
Give us 18 games, give us 2 bye weeks, cut out one of them stupid, nonsensical games, and let's go.
Yeah, you can have everyone gets a bye week between weeks 5 and 9, and then a bye week between
13 and 17, or 13. Or do 13 and 16, something like that. Last 2 weeks, you should have to kind of. When do we stop the bye weeks? We stop them like what, week 14?
Yeah,
like that. I think week 14 is the last bye week, so you extend that out a couple more weeks.
Yeah, I think either weeks 13, 14, 15. It should all be in there, like the beginning of December.
I'm even fine with you as long as you get it before Christmas.
Yeah. We'll see. We will see. Okay, where am I at? We got to go to the betting markets. Let's see. We saw this yesterday. Sorry. NFL futures, division futures. They were the favorites to win the division yesterday. Let's see if they still are. They are minus 110 to finish to win the division. Cowboys right behind them at plus 150. Giants and Commanders have no shot to win the division. Their conference odds to win the NFC, they're the third favorite behind San Francisco and Detroit at plus 600. And then to win the Super Bowl, they are plus, you can get 14-1 on them to win the Super Bowl. That ain't bad. That ain't a bad bet right there.
No, not terrible.
Let me see. And then team wins. That's what I want to see there. Let's see the win total. Regular season win, Philadelphia Eagles. Man, 10.5. You know what's crazy? It's 10.5 at minus 140. What when the Cowboys yesterday 10.5 and it was like minus 210?
It was minus
210
over 10.5.
Riddle me that, Cricket. This team's favored to win the division, yet they have the same over-under win total as the Cowboys, and yet the Cowboys you got to lay minus 210, and the Eagles you got to lay minus 140. This is a better bet, and it just shows you that you're paying such a high tax when you're betting on a public team like the Cowboys.
Absolutely, man. That's what I'm saying. So, if you're going to bet, looking at these win totals here, I think if the Eagles get over that win total, they're going to win the division. I mean, it's possible.
Well, it doesn't even matter. I wouldn't even bet them to win the division because you got to lay minus 110.
I wouldn't bet either one of them. But if you're going to bet the Cowboys, don't look at the win totals. Bet them to win the division because if they get over their 10.5 instead of laying minus 210, I feel like if Cowboys get to 11 wins, they picked up at least one against the Eagles.
Well, remember we said the better bet was the Cowboys make the playoffs, right? Because then you don't even worry about
for the Eagles.
We'll get to that, but I wanted to say real quick, you can lay minus 110 for them to win the division. They're going to need 11 wins to win that division. So I'd rather lay the minus 140 and not even worry about if there's any tiebreakers with the Cowboys or anything like
you could see that both being 11-6 or something.
So this is a way better bet. That's one I'm probably going to add to my portfolio now that I see it. Playoff specials to make the playoffs. Let's see. It's got to be juice.
It's got to be, yeah.
Yes is minus 250. Once again, a better bet is to bet their season win total over 10.5 at minus 140. Because if they get 11 wins, they're going to be in the playoffs.
I don't hate betting the no.
2-1?
I don't hate it.
There's good value there. There's good value. They could collapse. There is good value. If you like that, think about that, Cricket. They're saying Eagles to make the playoffs. Which, if you win your division, you make the playoffs. To win the division is minus 110. So to make the playoffs, minus 250. I mean, this makes sense to me, but I'm still looking back at that 10.5 wins, and I'm like, well, listen, you get 11 wins with the seven slots right that are there. Yeah. The better bet odds-wise is to go over the 10.5 wins at minus 140 instead of this, or better than them to make the playoffs at minus 250 or them to win the division at minus 110. I'm just putting this out there for people that want to bet on the Eagles. And saying that that's the smarter bet out of the three.
You go and you bet them to maybe put a little sprinkle, mix up a unit on them to win the NFC and then to win the Super Bowl, put a half unit on each. And then I think you also bet the no for them to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, you kind of have, you're just hoping that they don't you're hoping they don't land exactly at 11 wins.
Right, exactly. And we look at last year in the last 7 games we've seen this team play, even the one they won, they didn't look great. And I know it's been an off season, you got some new pieces, all that stuff. But once again, it's not that easy just to turn it on all of a sudden. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the back of these guys' minds. You've lost what is probably your best offensive lineman, at least one of them, in Jason Kelce there. So it's nothing that makes me feel like this team's going to be drastically better. Now, they weren't bad last year, had a rough stretch, but I'm just saying, I don't know that you can just turn it back on.
Some player odds here. We got Jalen Hurts to win MVP 14-1. I still think the Dak bet at 25-1 is way better than Dak is going to put up way more stats than Jalen Hurts.
Much rather have Dak at 25-1 than Jalen Hurts at 14-1.
Yeah.
much.
I mean, I don't think
There's a bunch
14-1
of
is
Jalen
bad
Hurts
for
runs.
Jalen Hurts. I just would rather put my money elsewhere.
And as much as he runs the ball, man, there's likelihood that he could miss some games due to injury. Obviously, Dak too, but Dak don't get out of the pocket and run, put his body on the line as much as Jalen Hurts does.
Quinion Mitchell to be Defensive Player of the Year, 14-1.
What about, is that Rookie of the Year? Defensive Rookie of the Year. I was going to say,
Yeah,
I like the
defensive-
Rookie of the Year. Yeah, no, I that's worth a sprinkle.
Yeah, 14-1 ain't bad odds on that one, especially he was the number one
What
cornerback,
about
and they need
Cooper DeJean for the
probably
rookie,
lower than that.
defensive Rookie of the Year? 33-1. That's worth a half unit too, y'all. I just told y'all in 2022 that man took 3 of his 5 picks back for touchdowns and returned a punt for a touchdown last year.
Yeah, that's one of those things you want to happen at the end of the season, like we talked about. He wanted to get all those flashy highlights.
Lock up the division or something.
Yeah. I like that. Let's see. Do they got anyone on here?
Let's see. What do you?
This is Defensive Player of the Year. Jalen Carter, 66-1.
Is there? Well, no, he's not on this team anymore. He got traded. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to dive a little farther into these to see if I, Jalen Carter, 66. That's Defensive Player of the Year, 66-1. It's hard for a defensive lineman to get Defensive Player of the Year. You just don't. You're gonna have double teams and all that stuff. It's just hard to put the stat line up to win that. You got people like Michael.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of just maybe throw $5 on it so you can say, "Hey, look at I had that."
I wouldn't even throw that. Throw $1 on it when you 66.
Yeah, and then you can go have a nice dinner, right?
And you ain't got to be mad when it does not happen. It's just hard for them to get the stat lines.
Yeah.
But what about let's see. I was trying to think of any other awards that might be worth it here.
I mean, Coach of the Year.
Yeah. What's that look like?
Why am I having the hardest time finding these guys?
And what is Saquon? Would Saquon qualify for Comeback Player of the Year?
He should. Nick Sirianni is all the way down here at 66-1. That might not be a bad bet. If they get the 1 seed,
he's capable.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think I have Comeback Player of the Year on here.
Do you have Offensive Player of the Year?
Yes.
What is Saquon Barkley? 20-1.
He's got to be way down. He's 20-1.
Maybe a half unit.
Yeah, maybe. Well, there you have it, folks. That is the Philadelphia Eagles 2024 preview. Make sure you like this video. Let us know in the comments below how you think the Eagles are going to do this season and which bets, if you have any, that you like or that you have placed on them to get it done. Like I said, I think that over 10.5 wins, if you think they're going to make the playoffs or win the division, that over 10.5 wins is the best bet to make instead. Then you don't have to worry about either of those things happening. But smash the like button, subscribe to the channel wherever you're at, and we'll see you on the next video.
That's right.
Cricket, I need to tell you about something real quick before we get into some baseball things. We're all about fitness around here, right?
That's right.
Being healthy.
That's right.
We got to talk about healthy weight, good fats, more energy. The key to having healthy weight, more energy, and a long, healthy life comes down to a specific switch you can flip in your body to flush out unnecessary calories. Dr. Stephen Gundry is calling this the caloric bypass. That's interesting. The caloric bypass. And by activating this specific process in your body, he has seen thousands of people dramatically improve their health, even at the age 50 and beyond. Just kind of like what your doctor was saying, huh? You found a little trick. He's in his 60s, huh? Dr. Gundry here has a little trick for you. He's a heart surgeon here, it looks like. And look at that. He stopped doing this to your coffee, is what he's saying. So this includes losing weight, getting tons more energy, and returning to the good health once they simply did this switch. Dr. Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself. Damn. 70 pounds himself using this research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone. His health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. All right. He looks like he's in his 60s too. So, I mean, damn. Okay. This video has been watched by over 20 million people to date. You don't want to miss out on this video. You want to be one of those people that didn't watch this video? A little FOMO, a little missing out here, huh? No, you want to go watch this video and learn about your health and how you can take better care of yourself. And you can watch it and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/studio, thehealthyfat.com/studio. The videos, it's pulled up right here. You can scan the QR code, click the link in the chat, or click the link on this video. It's linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/studio.
That's right.
That is right, people. That is right. That is right. Okay. I'm trying to see what time it is. I don't think I have time to.
I was going to say, I don't know if you got time for baseball. Is it going to be real?
I sure don't, especially since I hear a little man here right now. So
we are
going to have. What's that?
My little ones are over here, but that's why I had to step up for a minute. I was like, you guys, you got to give me 5 minutes.
Say hello. Say good morning, everybody. Say good morning.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Little rascal. All right, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good show today. Sorry we didn't get to any baseball, but we'll get into that tomorrow. I mean, there were some interesting things yesterday. Oh, I want to show you this with baseball. So the one last thing I want to show you before we go, because I wanted to pull this up because this was cool. The Cardinals trounced, or no, the Diamondbacks trounced the Nationals 17-0 yesterday. And as a sports bettor, every player went over their prop. Every player got a hit for the Diamondbacks. How crazy is that?
Oh my God. I did see this score last night. I was just looking over and I was like, this looks like a football score, man.
Could you imagine laying minus 360 for a guy to get a hit? Minus 350, minus 3. It's like they knew that this was going to happen, and they lit him up 17-0.
Who was pitching for the Nationals?
I think it was Patrick Corbin. Patrick Corbin Day.
Imagine that. I had to be. Of course it was.
Because I saw someone on Twitter say, "Happy Patrick Corbin Day" for those of you that celebrate.
I'm about to. I've been trying to have Patrick Corbin's back, man, but I got to start. I'm gonna start racking that money up too. Just fade that man.
Yeah, just fade him. So there you have it. Hold on, Bubba. Yeah, I thought that was crazy. I was like, man, I wish I would have known. I wish someone would have told me.
And good morning, Steps, and good morning, Super James. I see y'all snuck in here, man. We've been trying to roll through
Steps, real quick before we get off. If you're free this Saturday or one of these days this week, come on. We got to talk MLB trade deadline, and you can break down all the big moves for us and what we need to know. We did a little bit of it today, but we need our MLB expert.
We need our MLB expert, yes, sir.
But ladies and gentlemen, that is the show. Thank you for hanging out. James 2990. I hope you get all your stuff figured out, buddy. Glad to have you here. If you're new, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're on our road to 10,000 followers here on Rumble. You want to be one of the first 10,000 followers. Trust me. All right. You don't want to be a year from now. We're sitting there 100,000 with our little Rumble plaque saying, man, I jumped on way too late. I was the guy there when we were at less than 10,000. That's what you want to say. So make sure you hit the follow button. He says he's free Friday. Beautiful. Let's do it Friday. Let's do it Friday,
man. Do we want to should we try to reach out to Beardo then and get him in here tomorrow maybe?
We'll see what his schedule is.
I'll text him just a little bit when we get off here.
Yeah, we could do either. I mean, tomorrow we could do Friday.
He could be a good time too.
Yeah, Beardo likes baseball.
Yeah. And Steps is one of our OGs. So he got to work a lot, man. He doesn't get to get in here with us as much, but Steps is one of the OGs of Game On. Steps has been here longer than I have, man.
Yeah, he has. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a beautiful, Wednesday? Beautiful Wednesday. And we'll see you tomorrow to preview, well, I guess either the Giants or the Redskins. If Beardo comes in tomorrow.
Surprise. You'll see. Ain't neither one of them really worth talking about.
I say Redskins, I'm going to put the old Redskins logo up if we do.
Yes, you better.
I'm going to.
Oh, bitch, if you don't.
I'm going to call them Redskins in the title, too.
Absolutely.
How about that?
Absolutely.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early, 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as always. And until then,
good luck, good gambling,
and game on.